Hey everyone, welcome to Preston's YouTube channel. If anybody is new or whatever, please like and comment and subscribe. Welcome me, be respectful at all times. Um, oh, this video is part 2 of my last video. My last video, I did part 1 about myself and about my background. This is part 2 of it. The last thing I was saying was about high school. Yeah, I was talking about high school and how my junior year was probably the worst year of school of my life. My junior year was supposed to be the year, focusing on your senior year and focusing on graduating, trying to apply for scholarships so it won't be too late to apply for scholarships, all the routine like that. But I had an incident to where everything just went down the drain. Let me explain it. Remember I said I was bullied all my previous years in school, from pre-K all the way till now. Actually, even as an adult, I was bullied. My junior year was when everything just got worse for me. I had a lot going on that year. I wasn't focused on school. Well, really I was, but then the emotions and feelings built up inside of me just start increasing and just start bubbling up, and then start holding on. I start holding stuff in, and then one day, I was taking, before it was called the STAR test now in Texas. Before, when I was in school, it was called the tax test. And then before then, when I was in elementary, it was called the TAS test. So that year, it was called the tax test, which is TAKS. So TAKS stands for Texas Assessment of Knowledge and Skills. It was, I think, after we was taking the reading part of the tax test, and it was lunchtime, and I was still feeling alone and hurt and heartache, and I had a lot of things built up inside me. So I had a little incident where I skipped someone in line because I was really hungry, because if I didn't eat, I was gonna blow up. So I skipped in line, and the dude, a classmate of mine, was like, "Why you skipping in line?" And I'm like, "Cause I'm hungry." "What do you expect? Everybody's hungry." I said, "You better." He said, "You better get in line like everybody else." I'm like, "Okay." So I got in line with everybody else. I waited, and they didn't have no more food. So really, I was very mad. I was tense. And I was very tense. And so I lashed out. I did. And I'm not going to lie about that because I did. That's when the rage started. That's when that was a warning to let everybody know, like, just leave me alone. And one of the police officers, the school police officers, was like, what's wrong with you? I said, leave me alone. You know, because I have stuff building in. And before even this happened, I was taking medication for because I was acting different. I was never acting like who I was. So, you know, it's like everything from 9th grade to 10th, to my junior year, it was like got worse and worse every year. And then everything just let loose. I fought a police officer. Actually, the police officer beat me up because he had no remorse because I was lashing out. But did I hit him? No. I was lashing out. I was yelling and screaming. But that don't mean I hit him. He pushed me to the ground. He started choking me. The police officer started choking me, and everything just got out of hand. And everybody in the cafeteria was laughing at me. Everybody was thinking my feelings are a joke, and why? But before then, I told my mom to transfer me, and my mom didn't care about my education. All she cared about was the location of my education, because I didn't feel safe at all, honestly. I didn't feel safe at the school I was. I didn't really learn anything, but I learned myself. Because I read, I see things, and I know things. So, my junior year, like I said, was the worst year of my life. I was arrested for terroristic threat because I told the school that I was gonna blow it up. And that summer, I was in juvenile detention for like the whole summer. And really not the whole summer. I was in psychiatric hospitals between those 3 months. I was incarcerated in juvie. So after that, I went to court. I went to court before I was let out. I went to court. They said Preston. They said Preston. He did a good job, tending to things, being calm and whatnot. So, guess what? By the grace of God, they left me out with no charges. And that is a blessing, because I don't want nothing on my record to where in the future, I won't get a job. You know what I mean? So it was like, that was a blessing. And it was also a blessing and a test. So then it was my senior year. I had to transfer to another school because I didn't feel safe. So when I transferred to another school, which was close by, I still didn't feel safe, because I had a fight, my first actual fight at school, with someone other than a police officer or whatnot. It was a student, and I was bullied my senior year, because I was too intelligent. I wasn't worried about anything other than graduating high school. That was all I was worrying about. So I was focusing on school, doing my work, all that. I get bullied because of something very petty. I was helping another student out in math because I'm really good at math. She was a freshman and I was a senior because I had more experience than she did. And so the dude was like, "Oh, so you hitting on my cousin?" Like, okay, she was cute and all, but at the same time, I was not hitting on her. Like, I wasn't trying to get, like, actually be with her. I was helping her with homework. So the dude was like, "Okay, meet me at the front patio at when school is out." I said, "I'm not even worried about you." So at the end of the school day, he comes to me. I was walking to the bus and he pushed me. So he pushed me from behind. So I was like, okay. I said, "Dude, I'm gonna give you one last warning." I gave him two warnings. I tell him, "Why you push me?" I said, "Cause you trying to talk to my cousin." So I was like, okay. So I walked away. Then again, you know, he pushed me again. But this time I was in front of him. Like, we were like this. His body was facing me and my body was facing him. So he pushed me. So I said, "Dude, I'm gonna give you one last time to not push me again." So that was the third warning, because that's when my anger just skyrocketed. When he pushed me again for the third time, that's when my anger skyrocketed. And I beat the living hell out of him until he was bleeding to death. But lucky, I got suspended and not get restraint or like the police coming over there and whatever. I got suspended because I'm getting suspended because I was stood up for myself. Because he was bullying me, over mess. And, dealing with a lot. And as soon as my senior year was over with, after I graduated, took my diploma, I was happy. I was glad. I was out. I was glad I was glad to be out of school. I was glad to be out of high school. So I'm gonna talk about bullying in a video one day, probably 3 videos from now. So after high school, it was between 2008 and 2015. I was going through a rough patch. I still was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life, and it took me 7 years to figure out what I wanted to do. So from 2008 to 2013, I was still focusing, like I was still in a deep state to where like I felt like, I was hurt, in high school, and and in 2011, we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. In 2011, we're gonna talk about the other stuff in another video. So we're gonna get to the college thing and my life becoming an adult and my life now as an adult. So please like and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in another video. So peace.